Hello, welcome to the channel. Let's just dive in, shall we, guys? So, Superman, it's been out pretty much a week now because it started coming out on Tuesday in some places, then Wednesday, then Thursday, and finally it is out on Friday in the UK. It's only in 24 countries, so not all of them. So, like France, Germany, Spain, Italy, they've not got it released yet. But things are not looking particularly good. Maybe word of mouth has got around that it's not actually a great film and there's lots of problems with it, but who knows? So, as we stand right now, it's sat at 217 million, and that's almost for a whole week. That's not a weekend including Thursday or a weekend including Friday. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And everyone's saying, "Oh, it's beaten the Man of Steel." Not really. If you take out the fact that Man of Steel came out in 2013, if you adjust that for inflation, it then beats this 217 million mark that they've got there. And also, the Man of Steel wasn't in as many cinemas as this has been in, so that went against it. So it hasn't beaten it there either. And then also you need to take into account that actually the Man of Steel, when they tallied up its box office weekend, they did Friday, Saturday, Sunday as a whole. They excluded the Thursday for Man of Steel. So Man of Steel had 3 days to make its amount over the weekend goal, and it still beat this one as well. So it's not a good sign. And I'm not the only one saying this, sadly. So, Superman stumbled at the international box office in its first weekend despite pulling strong domestic numbers. In the high stakes world of superhero cinema, where global dominance often determines a franchise's fate, James Gunn's Superman has soared domestically but stumbled overseas. While the film's 122 million North America opening weekend marks a triumphant reboot to the DC studios, though still falling short of the Man of Steel's 128.7 million, so it hasn't even beaten that, and that was from 13 years ago, nearly 10 years, over 10 years ago. The international haul tells a far less heroic story. Clocking in at just 95 million from 78 markets, this overseas performance falls short of pre-release projections and underscores a persistent performance falls short of her pre-release projections and underscores a persistent Achilles heel for the DC. It is struggling to captivate audiences beyond the US borders. Heading into July 11 and 13 weekend, industry trackers lead like Deadline and Variety pegged Superman's global debut at 200 million or more, with international markets expected to contribute at least 100 million, potentially matching or exceeding the domestic take for a balanced 1-to-1 ratio. This optimism stemmed from early rollouts in key territories like France, Italy, and Korea starting midweek, giving the films extra runaway to build momentum. Yet the final tally reveals a stark imbalance. Domestic earnings outperform the combined might of those 78 international markets, resulting in 56 domestic split. The context blockbuster franchise like Marvel's typically rely on overseas for 60 to 70% of their totals, turning films like Avengers Endgame into billion-dollar behemoths. Here, Superman feels more like a homegrown hero than a worldwide icon. Comparisons paint an even grimmer picture. The 95 million overseas bow dips below Shazam's 102 million international opening. That's bad. A lighter, family-friendly DC entry that benefited from lower expectations and 100 million budget. It also perilously close to massive flop Captain America Brave New World, reported 92 million overseas start earlier this year. And that Captain America Brave New World was absolutely terrible. And I'd say it's not far off as being as bad as that. This is all despite Superman boasting a more iconic character and a 225 million projected tag, plus a hefty marketing campaign. Yeah, there's rumors that there's like a $200 million marketing campaign. So they'd have to make, just without marketing, 450 million, and then they need to double that because the cinemas take 50%. So 450 million, so that's 900 million. Add the 200 million, so that puts it to over a billion. 1.3 they'd have to make before they break even. Historically, film have skewed domestic. Man of Steel versus 57% US centric with a 86 million international debut, but Gunn's reboot was supposed to transcend that, leveraging his Guardians of the Galaxy pedigree for broader appeal. Market breakdown reveals where the kryptonite hits hardest. Strongest holds like Mexico, 3.8 million through Friday, the UK, 3.6 million, and Brazil, 3 million, showed promise, with Superman outperforming Aquaman and The Lost Kingdom by 159%. In Italy, and setting records in Gunn's biggest opener in Brazil, Australia and France each added 2.5 million, and the film claimed the best opening day of 2025 down under. Oh, right, okay, so it has come out in some European countries, I didn't realise. But Asia, a crucial revenue driver for superheroes, faltered. China projected a meager 11 million amid local competition and post-lockdown market shift, while Japan and other regions lagged. Oh dear. This softness isn't isolated. It highlights broader challenges like superhero fatigue, where audience wary of Cape Crusaders patronize local blockbusters or streaming alternatives. Analysts have been diplomatic, called it a solid start overall, with a 270 million global total that exceeds initial tracking and positions film for around 500 to 600 million worldwide if legs hold strong. And I think, yeah, I think it could most probably do around 500 to 600 million altogether by the time it gets pulled. Yet whispers of disappointment linger. The Hollywood Reporter noted the international turnout as slightly softer than expected, while Variety echoed that the overseas dip tempered the euphoria from Thursday's record 22.5 million previews for DC. This lopsided launch raised red flags. I do think people are just kind of sick and tired of superhero films. We've had so many of them. Can we get something else now? You know, we've had over 10 years of just non-stop superhero films, really. And I'd just like something a bit more challenging, a bit something that challenges the mind a bit more. Maybe some good comedies. I don't know. Warner Brothers desperately needs robust international performance to offset its ballooning budgets. Superman's 225 million production costs, combined with a marketing campaign estimated around 200 million, like I said, pushing total expenses well over 400 million, demands far more than the 500 million break-even figure floated by some by some trades. In reality, factoring in the theatre splits, where studios retain around about 45 to 50% of gross, which is what I said, the other fees, the film likely requires 800 million or more worldwide to truly profit. This is a claim James Gunn has repeatedly refuted while offering no actual numbers to back up his statement. If overseas markets continue to underperform, it could severely horrible James Gunn and Peter Seinfeld's ambitions. Gods and Monsters slate leaving DC over reliant on domestic audiences in a jam-packed 2025 lineup. Yeah, I mean, it's not doing well. It's not doing well at all, and I think James Gunn was possibly the worst person to get for DC to put in charge of everything. They had well-established characters with Ben Affleck, with Jason Momoa. I mean, my God, everybody wants Henry Cavill back. Everyone. And this is no disrespect to Mr. Cornfield, but why not use your assets that you have? Why not use them? Oh, and Gal Gadot. I just don't understand that. I think people will be much happier to have another Henry Cavill movie. Maybe take it in a different direction, but there's so many. I mean, I did a review on this, and there's so many things that I haven't said about this film that I was thinking about afterwards. I was thinking, no, I wish I could have said that now. But the more you think it, after you watch it, and you have to kind of turn your brain off, and then over the next few days, more and more comes back from what you're watching. You're like, oh yeah, oh right, yeah, that was a bit crap. Oh god. So anyway, yeah, let me know what you think. Have you seen the film? Did you enjoy it? Let me know below.